captains are interesting. Now, the team votes on this allegedly, although I have my suspicions because Mike McGlinchey was voted by his peers a captain last year. I can't believe that. So I wonder if they fudge it sometimes, but let's just go with with what they say, that players vote for this. They did not vote for Nick Bosa, which is interesting because George Kittle says he's the best player on the team in the league other than Aaron Donald. Seems like some people really think he's a hell of a player. Not a captain, though. Eric Armstead is the captain for the D-line group. What's up with that? What do you think is going on there?
I think it's just a case of seniority and availability, right? I think, Bosa hadn't been there all last season. Armstead has been, is the senior member of this defensive line, highest paid player. I think it's more just seniority, and I don't think it has anything to do with the players don't like Bosa or he's not good enough to be the captain. Being a captain and being the best player, I think, are two separate things. When you look at, my Lakers, Derek Fisher was the captain, even though Kobe Bryant was on the team. So it doesn't really mean that if you're the captain, you're the best player. It has everything to do with just, who maybe Armstead is more vocal. Maybe Armstead, breaks down, the defensive line. He obviously has been with the team longer than, most of these other players. So I think it's just that more than anything else.
So I think with Bosa, there's two things. I see Bosa as very out for Bosa. He like you've talked about it, Grant. He has a brand. Him and his brother Joey, his dad, they have a Bosa brand, and I think that they always put the Bosa brand first and foremost above everything else, even the team. I mean, he didn't even practice hardly this offseason, and I think his teammates sort of realize that, and they take that into account, especially when they're voting on something like a team captain. The other thing is, I thought you were going to ask him, Grant, in the press conference today.
I know. I was about to. I was like, so what's up with your girlfriend?
I thought you were going to ask him.
I'm not going to do it, man.
You had some off the field issues this week, but that might be, I know that's what you were getting at when you brought this topic up, because, it is something that's out there, and I wonder if any of his teammates have talked to him about it. I would have liked somebody in the press conference to ask him, hey, regarding your off the field issues, have any of your teammates talked to you about that? What's going on with that?
Yeah. So this was one of my questions, and it was sparked by one of the responses that I tweeted out yesterday that Raheem Mostert, Jimmy Ward were named first-time captains, and someone commented, why is it Nick Bosa captain? And then it just got really loud for a sec. Someone commented, Nick, why is it Nick Bosa captain? And I thought to myself, that's a pretty interesting question because he has the prerequisites. He was named Defensive Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. He's one of the better players on the team. You look at Fred Warner.
NFL top 100?
Yep, NFL top 100. He has everything you need to be a team captain as far as achievements go, right?
Yes.
Fred Warner was named a team captain going into his second year. George Kittle named a team captain going into his second year. Mike McGlinchey named a team captain going into his third year.
Right.
Nick Bosa is going into his third year. Mike freaking McGlinchey. So it's interesting, and I think a lot of you guys touched on maybe his leadership style. He seems like a quiet leader to me as well. It seems like he's away from the team a lot. He works out independently with his brother, in Miami or in Florida, wherever they are, down in SoCal. It's definitely interesting, but the elephant in the room, and some of you guys kind of talked about it already, he's been surrounded by a lot of controversy, and who knows how his teammates feel about what's been going on around him with his girlfriend and the tweets. Granted, they were from a while ago. Not that that's an excuse by any means. That's just kind of the context that the tweets were from 7 years ago. But it's definitely valid to bring up if I were his teammate, or if one of his teammates were to bring it up. Who knows how the locker room truly feels about Nick Bosa? It seems like he's liked among a few of his peers that have been public and have had his back. But, it is interesting. You're voting guys like Jimmy Ward and Raheem Mostert are definitely deserving. Eric Armstead, he does a lot for his community up in Sacramento. I know he has leadership qualities there, but he's never struck me as like a very rah, I'm going to fire you up leader. Trent Williams, yes. So it's Nick Bosa, a good call with him being quiet to himself about his own brand, and definitely what's been going on around him makes you think, how does this team truly feel about him, because if you're a rookie of the year, if you're a top overall pick, second overall, and you have what he's achieved already, if you racked up 4 sacks in 3 postseason games and were just an animal, normally that type of player is a team captain.
So the question is, does he deserve it other than the players who are already captains? I mean, Armstead, Fred Warner. I think that's where we have to look into this, because yes, he was very good, defensive rookie of the year and everything, but he has something to prove, because all this season, even in the training camp, he didn't go 100% right. He always like, okay, I'm gonna take it slowly. I'm gonna practice for a day, maybe another couple of days of maintenance and whatnot. Still, we have like very high hope that he will be 100%. He is saying that he is going to play not based on the pitch count and everything, but he has to prove it out there. So, but at the same time, you have guys who have proven it, and you know that, I mean, unless some unfortunate event happens in terms of injuries, who are going to be there for 17 games throughout the season. So that might be the major reason that Nick Bosa is not a captain, because there are guys who are at the moment, in terms of leadership and everything, availability, who deserve that team captaincy position than him.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, he was ranked 17th NFL's top 100 after his rookie year. That was number 2 on the team after George Kittle. And he got edged out for the captain by Eric Armstead. I mean, not DeForest Buckner, not Justin Smith, freaking Eric Armstead and his 3 sacks. So I gotta wonder if, I know a certain segment of the team is really into Nick Bosa, but I wonder if certain people just kind of coexist with him and aren't super wild about him. Because if I were on the team, that's how I would feel. Like, okay, like, we can play together. That's fine. You're good. But I don't really like.
Here's my
I'm
question.
really thrilled about you and the things that you stand for and your things that your girlfriend stand for. And does it bother me that you have this girlfriend? Absolutely, freaking bothers me. And if it's all, if all things are even and we're voting for captains, I'm voting for Eric. Sorry, Nick. Yes, it is personal. Maybe you should think about some of the choices you make in your life, and you can be the captain in the future. So I do think all these things go into it.
So if I were to tell you,
cut me off. How dare you?
I apologize. I thought you were done. Jimmy Ward is a captain. How many times he's been one of our best players, if not the best player in the secondary for a while? How many years do you think he's been captain?
You had your chance already, Suneil. What do we need to let the last word every time?
No, what I'm saying is I think we're making this a bigger deal than it actually is.
No, it's a huge deal. It's
Eric
the biggest
Armstead
deal.
was captain of the defensive line last year. They just brought him over. Like Jimmy Ward has only
he
been.
got voted no confidence. Though.
This is his first year as a captain. So are we looking at all those other years of Jimmy Ward that the team didn't like him, or the team was questioning his abilities and all this kind of stuff?
Jimmy Ward was never had any of the status that Nick Bosa dreamed of. Jimmy Ward was never on the field his first couple years in the league. When he was getting torched by Brandon Marshall for 3 touchdowns. 2 different players. It's comparing apples to oranges. You can't compare Jimmy Ward and him not being a captain early on to Nick Bosa, who has.
Well, why are we saying the same thing about D Ford?
We can't argue this one. We got to move on. I got to be done in 5 minutes.